Akil Parker wants to increase math proficiency and enrichment in the black community. Brother, is this an accurate statement? Yes or no? And whatever it is, please elaborate on that statement.
That's a very accurate statement, a very, very accurate statement. And the reason that I want to do that is because, so for my 20 years of math teaching experience, one of the things I've learned that is so critical is that quite often we don't have a proper definition of what mathematics actually is as a tool and what it represents and what it can do for us if we were to embrace it and then become proficient and then find mastery within it, achieve mastery within it. Is that I think about the Elijah Muhammad quote, which Malcolm was very famous for saying when he would say, of all of our studies, history is the most equipped to reward our research. I think about that quote a lot, and the way I relate that quote to math, I leverage that quote and I say that of all of our studies and all of our disciplines, mathematics, I believe, is the most equipped to develop our critical thinking ability and analytical reasoning skills, which can lead to our ability to solve not only our individual problems, right, but our collective community-wide problems, right? So like math is like, I had a friend that would always kind of, throw this out there, they would say, all roads lead to math. Because when we be having conversations, it's like I always find a way to make it into something algebraic, something geometric or whatever, because I'm just immersed in it. But it actually, it makes a lot of sense, right? Because when we study our scholars, we study our African-centered scholars, our elders, whether they be ancestors or those still present doing this work. When I listen to them, I hear the ideas and the insights and the analysis that they provide to us. It makes a lot of sense to me because they're essentially mathematical principles. And they just, it's about balance. It's about, the equations got to make sense. This got to add up. Like, okay, well, how can this group of people really feel this way? And when they actually over here doing this, and, it's all about contradictions and exposing contradictions, or maybe that, in some situations there may not be a contradiction, but all of that is very mathematical to me. So what I've come to find is that, and also it seems very interesting that math would be a subject that it's like a common denominator. We're all exposed to it in school. Like we go to school, we take a math class every single year from kindergarten up through high school. But yet so many people in our population, such a high percentage of people are like, they hated math. They didn't do well in it, and it just reminds me of, something Amos Wilson said, which is the challenge for this society, this Western society that we live in, which we know is an oppressive society. But the challenge for this society is, how do we maintain the status quo of oppression? How do they maintain the status quo of oppression while still trying to give the impression that they're trying to benefit everyone within the society, even those that they're oppressing? So to me, it's like, okay, well, yeah, we got to expose them to the math, but we still got to figure out ways to make sure that they don't learn it. Because once they learn it, then they'll become problem solvers. Because when you're learning math, you're simultaneously developing critical thinking ability and analytical reasoning ability. And then you can a lot of us don't even know how to identify problems.